this video, we're going to look at Mass Effect 5 and why our beloved Commander Shepard should not return, and why a new protagonist deserves to take the spotlight instead. Hey guys, Single Player Universe here, please like and subscribe and let's dive into the video. Since Mass Effect's inception in 2007, Commander Shepard has been a part of the journey throughout the trilogy, and millions of people globally each have their own Shepard with different choices, endings and more. However, since the end of Mass Effect 3, it has been said by BioWare themselves that this was Shepard's last story in the franchise. Following the negative reception towards 2017's Mass Effect Andromeda and the announcement of Mass Effect 5 on N7 Day 2020, people felt that due to the criticism of Ryder, the player protagonist in Andromeda, would probably force BioWare to bring Shepard back. But things changed when the teaser trailer for Mass Effect 5 was revealed at the 2020 Game Awards. So, as you saw by my highlighting of the site of both the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies, this hints that Mass Effect will be a sequel to both Andromeda and Mass Effect 3. Also, the head of the project, Michael Gambel, acknowledged this by saying that this shot is intentional, which led to some people referring to the next game as Mass Effect 5, with Andromeda counting as Mass Effect 4. Elsewhere in the trailer we hear Arc 6 is away, Godspeed, which is another reference to Andromeda, and not long after that we see a destroyed mass relay that points to the Destroy ending being canon, which divided some fans as people claimed that Shepard may definitely return, as the perfect Destroy ending is the one that is canon. In my opinion though, seeing how badly damaged that mass relay was, I think it indicates that the low EMS ending of Destroy is canon, and in that ending Shepard and most of the crew don't survive. Further on in the trailer, we see an unknown ship approaching the planet and someone walking on what Michael Gambel confirmed to be dead Reapers, a further confirmation of the Destroy ending being canon. And that someone at the end of the trailer is Liara T'Soni, who we now know is going to play a major role in the next game. She picks up a piece of N7 armor buried in the snow in the trailer. This is what really got the community going, as Shepard was showing breathing at the end of the perfect Destroy ending with a piece of N7 armor. And a lot of theories were floating around about how Shepard may have survived the 600-year time jump that will come into effect if Andromeda has a major role in the story, such as the Captain America theory, where Shepard may be frozen like Captain America was at the end of the Captain America First Avenger movie. However, I don't see Shepard returning, and these three reasons make up for it. Shepard has already completed their story. Shepard has been avoiding death since Mass Effect 2 by being brought back to full health by Cerberus after nearly dying in the surprise Collector attack, and then in the end of Mass Effect 3, Shepard did what they had to do, they stopped the Reapers. So if Shepard is still alive during the events of the next game, which is extremely unlikely in my opinion, they should get a cameo or be the next character's father figure type character that David Anderson was in the original trilogy, rather than returning to be the main player character once again. Also, Shepard would not survive the time jump if Andromeda and Mass Effect 3 are continued. Andromeda is set over 600 years after the Reaper War. The likelihood of this happening is more likely than ever, as teased by the new N7 Day 2022 teaser video, where the date has 11th of July something 90, and it is likely that the first two digits are 27, which equates to 2790, 4 years after Andromeda. Also, some people have spotted that in another N7 Day concept art, when you zoom in you can see the title SFX5 on a building in the art. Back when Mass Effect was in development, the project title was SFX, which stands for Science Fiction X, which translates into Mass Effect 5, and my side of the story is that Mass Effect 5 will have a subtitle like Andromeda did rather than carrying on with the number. However, the Mass Effect community remains divided on the day, as some still say that the 90 is 2190, which is 4 years after the events of Mass Effect 3, while others say it is a red herring and that is a 2790, which is 4 years after Andromeda, as I said before. Either way, I don't really care where the game is set, I just want a brilliant story and a character. If Andromeda is included as a sequel, then Shepard has no reason to return. We need to also preserve Shepard's legacy, as the next game may flop, or Shepard may be messed up by BioWare because of their stupid writing sometimes. As much as I would not like the game to flop, I would rather it flop and not have Shepard, which means that their legacy cannot be tarnished, and instead preserved through the acclaimed trilogy. Moving on to my second point of this video, on why it makes more sense having a new protagonist as part of the next game. Shepard will be missed, but BioWare has more opportunities with a new protagonist than with Shepard, such as a more detailed character customization, like Starfield, with a more detailed background and psychological profile, more classes and different contrasting ways to play that would make the next game fluid and fun to replay over and over. Also, the ability to add playable races into the single player story, such as being able to play as a Turian C-Sec officer or an Asari Spectre, or even a Quarian, would make sense considering the story being at some point where the galaxy is still rebuilding after the Reaper War. The one I want the most though is the ability of joining factions, like in Fallout 4, Skyrim and Starfield, where we can join all sorts of corporations. Like for example, I would love to join Blue Suns, Eclipse, or be a Spectre, or even work for the Shadow Broker, who is of course Liard Sony, rather than being forced to work with the Alliance. This is probably the hardest one to incorporate, as BioWare is a smaller studio compared to someone like Bethesda Game Studios, where there are hundreds more people working on a game, so BioWare may not be able to incorporate it. So even though Shepard would no longer be in the next game, having a new protagonist in the spotlight would open the door to many opportunities in the next game and future games beyond, and it would give BioWare a second chance at proving that they don't need to rely on Shepard to create a brilliant and successful Mass Effect game. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, I have a lot of videos like this coming, so subscribe and I'll see you next time. Take care.